Welcome, everybody, back to Bec Han, episode 3. On this episode, we talk about Barbie and Halestorm, two feminist icons.
Two feminist icons. Our version of Barbenheimer is
Barbstorm.
Barbstorm.
Yeah, Barbstorm.
Just in case anyone doesn't know, I'm Han. She's Beck.
Yep, that's me.
And are we starting with Barbie or are we starting with Storm? Barberstorm.
Well, is it Barbstorm or is it Haleby?
You're so right. We better start with Barb. So you saw it last weekend and I saw it last weekend.
That's right. I saw it twice.
You saw it twice. Was it better on the... Well, not better. Did you like it on the rewatch?
The rewatch, it felt... Now, I missed the first 10, 15 minutes because I was late. So I was kind of bummed because I missed the first song, and I like the first song. And again, I told you in the other episode where we had technical difficulties, so...
The lost
episode where it's just me talking.
And then long periods of silence.
I used the audio descriptors, and so some parts of the dialogue were like just kind of hard to hear because it was describing things over it. And so when I was listening to the Barbie album, I really thought that they were gonna have like a reprise of the Pink song. Because, spoilers for Barbie. If you haven't seen the trailer.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Barbie, the section might have spoilers. So
skip to the storm part of Barbstorm. But she talks like when she does the acronym thing, she replaces it in the second time with death or whatever. I don't know. I think N was like unwanted thoughts of death or something. That doesn't start with N, but you get the idea. And if you've seen Barbie, you know what I'm talking about. And I missed it. I didn't hear what she said. And then the album doesn't have the reprise or whatever of it. So I didn't know because I missed it on the second watch through when I didn't have the audio description headset. But the second time the movie felt faster. The first time I was like, wow, this is kind of long.
Had to pee so bad about maybe 30, 45 minutes into the movie. Which made it feel very long to me. I was like, this is a great movie. I don't want it to end, but also, please can it end? I have to pee so bad.
I peed before. But I don't like to pee during movies because I can't pause.
Oh, I don't leave.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I didn't leave.
If there's a puddle after me when I get up, it was just sweat.
Yeah, nobody asked about it. That's not my problem. Anyway. Yeah, but it felt shorter or quicker on the second watch.
Oh, you saw it twice too?
No, I was reiterating what you said.
Oh.
I wish I had seen it twice. I really liked it. I would go again.
Honestly, Cinemark has $5 movies on Tuesday. If I was not running low on money, I would go see it. Again.
I also just love movie theater popcorn. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yes!
I know it's overpriced.
Yes, we got some.
But I love it.
We got some on the second time, and I was like, ugh. I was like shoving it into my mouth, and I'm like, ugh, it's cold, but it's so good.
I think I ate all of my popcorn before the movie started. I did the movies wrong this time. I ate all the popcorn and my M&Ms, and I had to pee so bad.
Okay, I have a fun little story about that.
Okay.
In 3rd grade, we went on a field trip. So you've been to Cinemark, so you know where it is. But it used to be called Tinseltown, and they had this like little popcorn, like kids meal type thing, where it'd be popcorn, candy, and a drink. And the field trip, we all got one, and we saw Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium or something.
Sure.
I think Natalie Portman's in that movie. That doesn't seem right. But anyways, and so we saw that movie, and Rachel and I ended up sitting together, and we both ate, like, destroyed the entire box before, like, the lights even dimmed.
The lights even went down.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. You're like, give me some snacks.
Give me some, I think they were like, I think it was Twizzlers and, like, M&Ms or something.
Oh, hell yeah.
Not Twizzlers,
I
though.
still, when I see the kids in the movie theater with those, I'm still like, I
They
would
still
eat
have
that.
those?
Oh yeah, the little girls all dressed up in pink at Barbie all had one.
Dude,
And they
I
had their little
want
pink
one.
bows and their little sparkly shoes.
Is it
I
like
know, I was like,
is it like when you, because sometimes, restaurants will let you order off the kids' menus, but sometimes they're like, no. So is that, I wonder what the,
no, I think you can still order it. It's just not very much food. It's like just a tiny bit of
but
popcorn
I'm
and stuff.
small.
So you like, it's so cute, and you're like, I want it, and then you look at it and you're like, I would finish that,
Before the lights are
go
dimmed.
down.
Yeah. So, fun little childhood Beck story that I'm gonna keep in.
So what did you think about Barbie herself, the movie?
I really enjoyed it. Um, I left thinking, oh my god, I've misunderstood Barbie this entire time. Barbie's the reason. Stereotypical Barbie is trauma is caused by me. Cause like
Yeah.
I guess I kind of get the whole like blonde perfect girl like stereotype.
Blonde bimbo girl.
Yes, blonde bimbo girl in a fantasy world. But when I was a kid, I didn't look at Barbies that way. Barbies were just like, they were whatever they were. And then I always thought, Barbies always gave off like mom energy. Like even if the Barbie was like a doctor, I was like, she's a mom, you know?
I think because they were adult women dolls.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah. And
I
so,
think that there's definitely like a conversation around like the whole body image thing with Barbie, but I can remember like I also had Betty Spaghetti and like Bratz dolls, and so I was like, yeah, dolls are just different shapes. Have you seen a Betty Spaghetti back?
I don't know what that is.
I'm gonna send you a picture of a Betty Spaghetti, but basically she's like a girl and her arms and legs are noodly.
This seems
I'll find a picture.
this seems like I know it's probably not, but like just coming from you, like it sounds not, it sounds like the homeschool like Christian version. We weren't allowed to have Barbies, but we had Betty Spaghettis.
She really looks like the homeschool version of a Barbie. Looking at a picture of her. Let's see. Yeah, so I think you're right. Like it kind of wasn't always a conversation about like was she just a dumb blonde girl? Or was she just like another doll that we played our little stories out with?
Oh, I think I've actually seen those, but they're
You have?
terrifying. I don't like them.
It's Betty Spaghetti.
Well, I don't like her. She can go away.
Well, we had Betty Spaghetti, we had Polly Pocket, we had Bratz.
Yep.
I was all about dolls.
Yep. But also I mean, I have body issues. I'm sure everyone has insecurities. Every woman has some insecurity, some body image issues. But like, I never got that from Barbie. I never looked at Barbie and was like, man, I want to be her.
Like she was made of plastic. Her arms and legs didn't bend. We were kind of like, she's fun to play with. I don't need to be her.
Right. And of course, all my Barbies ended up naked in a basket somewhere. And it's not like
That's true.
I don't really, that's interesting because like with guys, I could see, or boys, I guess, I could see them undressing a Barbie to see like what's there. But I feel like girls did it just as much as guys, and I know for me it wasn't like a curiosity. I knew what a woman's body looked like, but I was just kind of like they just all, I didn't have clothes to change them into. I'd just be like, your clothes are gone now,
Part of it was like they were hard to dress. Especially
that's true.
There's like an era of Barbie where they were all like kind of rubbery plastic, and they were so hard to put clothes on. So like sometimes you'd try and it just didn't happen. Or I'd be like, Mom, please, and she just didn't want to, so that they stayed undressed.
But I wanted Ken dolls more than I wanted Barbie dolls.
Did you really?
Yep. My mom, for whatever reason, just wouldn't let me have Ken dolls. I think, and I could be totally wrong, but I feel like they were more expensive.
I don't remember if I had a Kindle.
I had one Kindle, and it was like a beach. Well, I guess they're all kind of beachkins, but it's very
In the movie.
yeah, it's very fitting for like me because it had a bright orange, like a deep bright orange neon Hawaiian shirt, and then yellow swim trunks.
I love that.
So anyone who knows me, that's like I saw that at the Toys R Us, and I was like, I have to have this.
At the Toys R Us, rest in peace.
I know. Have you seen that video? This is totally off topic. Have you seen that video? It's like an empty Toys R Us, but Hey There Delilah is playing over the speakers.
2004 again.
It was honestly kind of sad.
So sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, about the movie and the music of it a little bit more too. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like the overall message of the movie really worked well. I love that it was self-aware
Mhm.
in delivering that message,
Mhm.
and um, like it knew like this is as far as we can go with a movie like this, and we know what we're trying to say, and we know what it looks like to have a big Hollywood movie say these things. Um, and I think they did a good job.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I like the message a lot, and it really upsets me to know that some people are going to write this movie off completely because of the message that it has. Um
Yes.
like my sister was going to go see it, and then I texted her and I was like, "Hey, have you seen it yet?" And she goes, "No, my friends and I decided not to go." And I knew why probably, but I was like, "Girl, you got to go see it. It's great." Cuz like I think people, and you know what, I'll just say it. I think conservatives really push that it's like ruins the definition of family and marriage, and they don't say it outright, but like gender roles and whatnot. And I'm just kind of like, this movie's not men. It's just more like,
No.
be yourself, figure out who you are, and go with
Yeah.
it. you can, women, you
It's
can be anything. Men, you already are everything. But you could still have an identity.
and it's like not anti-men, like you said. It's anti-patriarchy, also
Hmm.
anti-matriarchy,
Yes,
because
that's the other. Because they were like,
it's
let's make Barbie Land back to normal, and they're like, no, we don't want that.
yeah, because it didn't work,
Yeah.
and so they changed it to be more equal.
Yeah, and I like the line at the end where they're like, the narrator's like, and maybe if kins try really hard, they can have just as much power as women do in today's world, or something.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I loved how yeah, like that's a good example of how self-aware the whole movie was.
Mhm.
So funny, like
Mhm.
yeah, and I think also like if you're reading into Barbie as being anti-men, you're coming in with preconceived ideas and not actually listening to what they're saying.
Right.
Because I
Cause
think it's really not hard to read into it, the fact that it's not anti-men,
yeah,
but it's
it's
actually
very
pro-men.
obvious. Yeah. Exactly. Kinergy.
Kenergy, you are enough.
I had another thought about the movie. What was it? Oh, seeing America Ferrera in it made me think of the Real Women Have Curves in Mike's class. But
Yes!
I was like, hey, there she is.
That's why I thought she was a great pick for it, because she was Ugly Betty, she was Real Women Have Curves, she was the quote-unquote fat girl in Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants in the 2000s.
Uh huh.
So she's kind of been like playing this role throughout her career, and I felt like she was a good choice to
Mm hmm.
have say that speech to us at the end.
Yeah. And I like the footage where Barbie's like deciding whether or not she wants to become human.
Oh
Um,
my gosh, that plays into the music for me.
yeah, I was like, we talked about this last time, but I was like, man, like it made me like really want a family, but then I was also like a little sad because like knowing what my future kids will have to deal with as either, well, I guess as mixed, I guess, but also just as women if I have girls. Like I don't know. It was bittersweet because like it was cute to see all the footage and whatnot, but also like just to know like okay, we don't have a lot of power and stuff. It's just I don't know, just a bittersweet moment in the movie for me.
Definitely. I loved so that Billie Eilish song that's playing, but I know I said this to you before, but
We're gonna
um
repeat ourselves, and it's gonna be kind of awkward, listeners, because we did a whole podcast and it didn't work. So
yeah, it didn't record right. Lost footage.
lost
But
footage.
also I'm sick, so if I cough, I'm so sorry. Um, but it yeah, that Billie Eilish song, I like heard it in the car before I saw the movie, and I was like, this is dumb. My Spotify DJ wants me to listen to this song, and I don't like it. It's and then in the context of the movie and the scene that it was in, it I cried. Like I had tears in my eyes.
Yep,
So
yep,
it was very powerful.
yep. Then that line in the song, what it's like I'm sad now, but I can't tell my boyfriend because that's not what he's made for. Juan and I,
Ugh,
we listened to that. We were listening together, and we both just like looked at each other and were like, "Oof, that's so sad."
so sad.
So everyone,
Tragedy.
we're gonna have a running theme today, and it's called "Communicate with your partner."
Excuse me, I'm gonna cough for a second. Okay.
Be
Um,
emotionally vulnerable. It's okay.
are there other songs on Barbie that you want to talk about?
Well, we
How
have to
about
talk about "I'm
I'm
Just
just Ken?
Ken."
the
We can't forget about that. Um,
Kenergy.
the Kinergy. Okay. I actually have some stuff to add to this because well, first of all, "I'm Just Ken." Is it better than Peaches?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I have to agree with you. I don't want to agree with you because I think Peaches was more unexpected. I don't think anyone
Yes.
knew about Peaches until it was like in the movie. I could be wrong though.
Yes.
Um,
It was a moment, and then and it definitely had its moment, and then but I'm just Ken is a better song.
I know, but I kind of want Peaches to win the Oscar
I
because it did it
really hope
first.
that we do. It didn't. It what? Oh yeah, it did
It
it
did it
first.
first, and just like a fun little, I hesitate to call it a meme song, but I guess it's what it is. It's a fun little meme song that nobody really expected to be in the movie.
It's kind of like in Frozen 2 when Kristoff does that, like power
Yeah,
ballad.
yeah.
It has the same vibes.
Yes, I saw a blend of those two together. "I'm Just Ken" and "Lost in the Woods," and I was like, oh, I
Yes,
get it.
Lost in the Woods.
I see it
Yeah,
now.
but
Which,
I love it. Maybe I'm old, but I love it.
yeah, I mean it's good. Uh, But I did watch La La Land yesterday, which is funny because Juan and I were talking about La La Land like last week, and we were both like, I never want to watch this movie because it seems boring. And then
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was kind of boring. Now to be
It's just kind of like one of those movies where like nothing happens, and then it's sad.
Yes, I will say it was better towards the end, and
Yeah.
I do think part of my viewing experience was hindered because I had a glass of wine, and I am a person that if I only have one drink, I'm gone in the sense that I'm too tired to just like hear anything. I can't take anything in. But then if I get to two, I get past that tired feeling. So I had one glass of wine, and
That's
I was just
funny.
like, I can't. This movie's boring. I'm bored. And then I fell asleep. And then Juan was like, "Do you want to finish it tomorrow?" And I was like, "Okay." And then we finished it in the morning, and it got better. But I just still
Yeah.
like I said, it was just very boring. I liked "City of Stars" though. That's a nice little song.
Didn't yeah, and actually the second time I watched it, I liked it more than the first time I watched it.
I also think
So
that not having audio descriptions really kind of just I lost my interest. Juan described everything, but it'd be
yeah,
funny because
that's hard.
he'd be like Ryan Gosling is sitting on a thingy and holding a thingy, and I'm like, what's a thingy?
Mean.
But I was also not really invested. So I just find it funny that we ended up watching it because even after saying we wouldn't watch it because it looked boring. So
But
another
did you think
Ryan.
Ryan Gosling was good in it?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you like him in that movie, or did you like him as Ken better?
Oh, Ken Ryan Gosling all the way. Did you know he was a rejected member of, I think, NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? One of those. Juan told me this.
Oh, that's not true. That can't be true.
I didn't Google it, so I don't know, but that's just what he told me.
Okay, do we think it's NSYNC?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay, I'm Googling it. Oh, okay. Showbiz cheat sheet from cheatsheet.com.
Yes, the
Please
most
also make an
reliable
information.
source.
Ryan Gosling is known for his roles in films such as The Notebook and La La Land. Um,
Wasn't he in Crazy Stupid Love?
I don't know. I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, if you haven't seen that movie, it's a good movie.
He was in the Mickey Mouse Club, like every other celebrity who was famous starting in the 90s. And in 2013, it was alleged that he was asked to be a member of the Backstreet Boys, but turned down the offer. Um, they used to live in the same apartment complex as him when he was in Mouse Club. But he thought they weren't going to be as big as the New Kids on the Block, so he turned them down, apparently.
Hmm. Well, now we
And
know.
he says he tried to reach out to them again after they got more popular, but they didn't answer his calls.
Good. You lost your chance,
But
Ryan.
he never auditioned, is all that it says.
Oh. Well, anyways, um, I will say, have you heard the story about why Ryan Gosling picked or decided to do the role of Ken?
Is it the story where he like got offered it and then he went out in his backyard and he saw his
Yeah,
kid's Ken doll face down
yeah,
in the dirt and he was like, "Yeah, this guy's story needs to be told."
yeah. I thought that was so interesting,
I
and I was
love
like,
it.
I get it, because that's the whole arc of Ken is I'm just there as eye candy for Barbie and a support system friend, and then by the end he's somebody. It's Barbie. It's not Barbie and Ken. It's Barbie and it's Ken.
Which I think the message there was, "Hey, women, we need to come together. We need to see, understand ourselves as Barbies, as individuals, and come together, also as Barbies, as a group, and we better together, stronger together. Just like the Kens were better and stronger together when
Yep.
they could support each other emotionally."
Yep. Yep. Except that one guy who's like, I like being with Barbie.
Alan, I love Alan.
No, no, not Alan. It was and maybe I misunderstood the line, but he's like, but Ryan Gosling's Ken is like, we can be our own selves or whatever. We don't need Barbie. And then the one Ken goes, but I like Barbie. I want Barbie or something. And Barbie comes like running over to him.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I don't
You're
know.
right. I forgot about that part.
But I think that's okay. Like I think for some people, while it cannot be healthy at times, they prefer to be with somebody. And it's again, look, it's the new and improved Barbie land where codependency is a thing.
The new and improved Barbie. We'll get there eventually. Another iteration will have less codependency.
We have to evolve and change.
Do you have any other thoughts about Barbie or the song music in Barbie? I can't
No,
speak.
I liked what I liked. I didn't like what I didn't like. I didn't like Nicki Minaj's Barbie girl song, but I don't like Nicki Minaj, so
I
I'll
liked the
stick to
song when
OG
I
Barbie
first heard
girl.
it, and then now I've heard it 80,000 times every day since I saw the movie, and I'm sick of it.
I will say this. Barbie Girl, I love it. I get why people hate it, but I will listen to Barbie Girl when I want to smile and feel fun.
A blonde bimbo girl in a
Yep,
fantasy world.
yep.
I
That's gonna be my bio on like social media or something. I don't know where you put bios, but like I guess I don't know. But anyways, I just thought that was kind of fun. Love Barbie Girl. Good song. So that's really all my thoughts on Barbie, I think.
Okay, so this is the end of the spoilers then.
Yes. Come back now. It's time for the storm version or storm portion of Barbstorm.
We're
Okay.
ready.
Now it's time to talk about Halestorm.
Not a tone shift whatsoever.
Yeah, no,
Also,
it's
just as relevant to the culture today.
hey, people like Halestorm.
I mean, this album came out a long time ago.
Yes, you're right. Okay, we're covering Hailstorm's The Strange Case of, which came out in April of 2012. It's got 5 singles: Love Bites, I Miss the Misery, Freak Like Me, Here's to Us, and Ms. Hyde. Um, I'll go first since I suggested this album. Um, Hannah, as you know, because we talked about this before, like last year, a year ago, but I have mixed feelings about this album, and I've listened to it 3 or 4 times now preparing for this podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a love hate relationship. I think musically, the album is good. It's like I found myself bobbing my head, jamming out when I was listening to it doing other stuff. Lyrically, I don't know. It's kind of still cringe. So, okay, I bought this album when it came out. So I had to buy the clean version because I was 13. And it was probably not an album I should have been listening to at 13. It wasn't made for me. And as somebody who at that age was kind of, puberty, figuring yourself out, blah, 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 I took its message and interpreted it in a not so great way.
Mm.
So, like, we'll get into it with some of the songs, but I got, like, the message is kind in my opinion, the message of the album is like, okay, be your authentic self, even if it's conceived as weird or maybe, not traditional. Um, and like that's
Which
okay.
on its surface is not a bad thing.
Yes, but you'll if you listen to it, it's kind of it can be a bad thing if you don't take care of yourself. But 13-year-old me heard this album and thought, so if I'm, I guess, slutty, to put it bluntly, like that's cool. Like that's what I should. A lot of talk is like, oh, I can be a bitch, I can be a whore, I can. Some of it kind of gives off. It's kind of like the beginning of Lizzie's kinky music, I guess. You know how she is. You listen to Hailstorm more than I do.
We probably listened to it about the same
Yeah,
amount.
I guess, but
Probably a little bit more.
anyways, she's not afraid to kind of just like share some things. And for me, I thought, okay, it's cool if I'm treated badly. It's cool if I do these things, and I never did them, but I had the wrong idea. And my family at points, like if they listen to this podcast, they would be like, I'd be like, yeah, okay, you guys are right. Like I shouldn't have been listening to this. It gave me the wrong message about being a woman and whatnot. Because like they were like, Rebecca, we're concerned about your music. So
Right.
anyway, so this album I took it the wrong way when I was younger. It kind of it sparked, some interesting behaviors. But now, as a more mature 24-year-old, it's fine. It's a good album. I still don't agree with it lyrically because some of the songs give off like pick me girl vibes or like I'm not like other girls. I'm just one of the guys. And I
Right.
don't I don't like that cuz I feel like if you kind of fall into that, if you believe in that, mantra, then you're kind of putting down women as a whole. And so, I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with the other girls.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We can all be girls and we can all like different things. So, anyways, kind of my long rambly rant about this album, but I feel like the backstory is kind of necessary, especially when I talk about the songs, because you're gonna hear some of that anger, I guess, towards towards it because of some of its lyrical themes, but
Sure.
it's nothing
Yeah.
personal towards Hailstorm. It's a good album. So, what
Yeah.
are your thoughts?
I come out this album with a different memories associated with it. This album is the first one that my boyfriend ever shared with me, like the first of his music that he ever shared with me, and also first Halestorm music that I ever listened to. So it's kind of in that way for me, like a sweet thing. But I also like heard it as an adult and as a genre of music that I don't typically listen to. So I kind of am like, it's more of a clean slate for me coming into these songs than for you. Maybe I don't have as much background there. But there are still some songs on this album. Like this is the album that I've listened to of theirs the most. I don't really listen to their other music that much. Um, and there are some songs in here that I really enjoy. And then there's
Yep.
a good handful that I will make Hailstorm fans mad about talking about when I talk about them.
I love stirring the pot.
But yeah, I'm a professional pot stirrer. It turns out though, based on our last uh attempt at recording this, that we have similar thoughts on
Mhm.
this out on the
Well,
individual songs anyway.
well, some of them, and some of them are polarizingly different.
That sounds like us.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. So for the listeners and me, when we talk about each song, I'm gonna play like a 10-20 second clip of the song. And unfortunately, every time I try to do this, it starts to work on Hannah's end because I'll share my screen, but then it kind of crashes my computer and it stops working. So Hannah won't be able to hear it. So Hannah will just have to be quiet.
Boo-hoo.
I know.
I'll have to
Aren't you
sing it
devastated?
to myself quietly. Would it be
uh,
nice if I sang over it what part I think you're playing?
yeah, it's like a little game.
Did I get it right?
No, no, you did not. Actually, we
That
were
was
looking
horrible
for.
for the listeners.
Yeah, I'd love to hear you try to sing her style of vocals on some of these. Um,
Especially sick. Goodness.
yeah. So that's just kind of what it'll be kind of awkward, but until I can figure out a way to share with Hannah, so I don't have to be like, now time for the next clip. You'll just have to deal with it, listeners. But
Deal with it.
I wanted you guys to be able to hear clips of the song so that you kind of have an idea of what we're talking about, so you can kind of hear it. And then if you want to go out and listen to it on your own, feel free. Give Hailstorm your money,
Yeah.
which you should do that if you were interested.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
okay, so should we start with Love Bites?
I would love bites.
Okay. Oop, come on, Sony. Okay, I'm gonna play it now. Okay, so that's Love Bites. The first single and the opening number off this album.
It's a good opener.
It's a very good opener. I think
Pretty strong.
it's pretty strong, and I love that on their first album they started with the song "It's Not You." Good song, by the way. You should check it out. And both of these songs start out with drums, and I don't know, just something interesting. But no, Love Bites, very good opener, and I'd say it's probably one of their better singles. I love the guitar riff. I wish I could like isolate it so that people could hear it, because I'm not very good at describing music, unfortunately. So, but
Just sing it with your mouth.
I can't do it.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Aren't you the one to make? Aren't you the one who makes guitar noises?
No, I make no noises. I'm purely a listener.
Purely listener. Okay, I put that this is the best single. The drums are hard hitting and fast, and I think Hailstorm does drumming well. Um,
Yeah, it's her brother.
yeah, her brother, he does it very well. So a lot of these songs, like I said, like I found myself surprised that I really enjoyed it musically because of how it's put together and like how the drums set the tone and the pace of it. And then
Mm-hmm.
lyrically, I'm just like, we're just
You
gonna.
like that it's a drum forward album.
Yes, it
You're a
is.
big drums girl.
I am. Look, I'm a big drums girl. Love me a tom-filled bridge, which are most bridges. I feel like. So give me a good bridge. Give me some like hard-hitting, forward drums, and I am about it. Um.
I like in this album or in this song her voice on the chorus. I think she sounds really good.
Yes,
She has a great voice.
it's just as punchy. Like the whole song is just in your face. It is a
Hmm.
it is the definition of a hard rock song.
I tried to look up the singles from this album, and Google said, "Did you mean Hailstorm: The Strange Case of Shingles?" No, no, Google did not mean that. Why would I Google that? Anyway.
I wrote down one of the lines that stuck out to me on my last listen through is on the bridge. She says, "I found pleasure without pain," and I was like, in my head, I was like, "You sure about that?"
Isn't the name of the song Love Bites?
But this is another one where the lyrics, another one that we've just started. But this is one where like the lyrics again, I'm like, okay, girl, it's the whole I'm not like other girls, and she's putting down this other woman because of how she does her relationship, and Lizzie thinks she's better, and I'm just kind of like, but are you though? Because I mean,
That chick can eat her heart out. And you're like, can she? Should she?
but I mean, I listen to this and I'm just like, you get to the later songs where she's, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, girl, you can't be emotionally vulnerable. Are you sure this is a better, a better situation? But yeah, that makes me sound like a judgy bitch, and I don't want to come off that way. But that's just kind of how I see this album at some points.
But that kind of plays into the theme of this album, which we should definitely talk about,
Mhm.
especially because we're going to get to the next song that is kind of sets that tone.
Mhm.
Um, but obviously, this is called The Strange Case of, and this song called The Side. Um, so it's about her two sides, Dr. Jekyll on this side, although we don't know if Dr. Jekyll is named Dr. Jekyll for her. I guess it's just Lizzie. But um, but it seems like there's a lot of push and pull on this album between she wants vulnerability from her partner and she wants to give vulnerability to her partner, but also it's really, really hard. And so she like pulls back and is, tough girl too.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's hard like that. I mean, it's hard to be vulnerable with people. I mean, we're counselors. We hear it all the time of how you don't want to be people are scared to be vulnerable because of rejection or whatever it is. But then like it's a basic human instinct to, want vulnerability and intimacy.
Yeah.
And
But you
so
can't
you can't you
can't have that
yeah, and you can't
being loved without being known.
exactly. You're not going to get it unless you give. And so I think this album kind of shows that mindset of okay, I've got my walls up, but I want to be known. I want to be heard, but I'm afraid. And then you just end up
Mhm.
with people who are the same way. Like we'll get to
Yeah.
it, but in your room.
Yeah,
Obviously
she
her
pushes and pulls and he's kind of the same way.
yeah, he's like no. So I respect that because I wouldn't have gotten that as a 13-year-old, but now as a 20, an adult, I'm like, okay, this makes sense. And listening to this as an album, it makes sense. She's kind of this whole album, in my opinion, is kind of like a cycle of walls up, walls come down, something happens, walls go back up.
Yep. I see it that way too. Listening to it all the way through, it's like she goes back and forth a lot. It's that old pursuer withdrawer.
Yes, EFT, woo!
all of our all of our therapist listeners will know what we're talking about.
She should have just come to us for therapy. She's a millionaire. She don't have to pay $25 to come see us.
I think I think it was 60 was the highest one.
Yeah, but
Either way.
either way, that's nothing to a millionaire. Okay, so that's Love Bites. Kind of, it's a good opener. It sets the pace and tone of the album. The album doesn't really let up on the gas pedal until you get to the middle, and even then, it's only just for a couple songs.
Hmm.
And then it just keeps on going until the end. So next up is Ms. Hyde, and that's kind of where you start to see that push and pull of who do I want to be, and how do I go about being that person. So I'm going to play the clip for our listeners now. right, so that's the intro of Ms. Hyde or Mrs. Hyde, whatever. It's spelled weird.
She says Mrs. in the song, but it's like just MZ, so I thought it was just Ms. Hyde.
Mrs. Hyde. Maybe she's going
Is
Mrs.
she is she married to Mr. Hyde or not? That's the question.
Who knows? This is another one where you kind of it doesn't the gas pedal or the foot does not come off the gas at all throughout the song. It does not stop. It's another hard hitter, and I like it musically, and it's fine lyrically, I guess. This was the song that had the
Yeah.
most influence on 13-year-old me.
Okay, so what was that influence then? How did this affect you?
So 13-year-old me took these lyrics as like it's cool to be, well, to put it bluntly, when she's like, I can be the bitch, I can play the whore. I was like, oh, I can do that. I can be a bitch. you know, like I have to be these labels, okay? And I think what Lizzie's trying to kind of say in this song is that she can be who she needs to be with whatever person she's with, but it seems like what I'm getting is when she's that bitch or whore, she's just fitting into like the label that men expect with that, or that person the men expect with that definition or label. That was horrible to say. So like, if she's out one night doing her thing and a guy calls her a whore, or okay, so she likes to wear revealing clothes on stage or whatnot. So some men are gonna call her a whore for doing that, and and she's like, so she's kind of embracing, okay, you're gonna label me this way, and so I'm gonna just play into it and really maybe go over the top with it because I can, and
Yeah.
I know it'll get a rise out of you.
I think that is part of what this song is talking about. Like, I think there's partly her saying, like, okay, there's a dark part of me that is scary, so watch out for that. But also, like, I'm gonna lean it heavy into this image of me that you have because I can, and because you're gonna be afraid of it.
Yep.
Uh,
You're gonna be I
you
think
know,
intimidated is a better
yeah,
word.
intimidated is probably better than afraid. Yeah, be who you want to be, Barbie girl, or be who you want to be, Lizzie Hale. It fits. Mrs. Hyde.
um but in a weird way, I do find this album very empowering
Yeah,
because
well, I can see that.
there's not a lot of women in rock, and so to have someone say, like, to have someone so visibly mess with men's egos in these songs, it's nice, you know? If she can do it, I can do it.
I think that is something that's cool about Halestorm is like rock is not there are like women in rock, but it is like not the most open to female led bands or all female bands. Like a lot of rock bands are all male or, mostly men.
Mhm.
So it is kind of cool to have a woman get up and sing like, yeah, like I'm gonna be the person I want to be, even if I'm like, I don't want to be her, and I don't know if I necessarily think it's a good idea to be her or if I do or don't. It doesn't really matter what I think because she's gonna be Mrs. Hyde anyway.
Right. Right. And I think what I like when I come back to this album is that she's so confident in herself. And I think that what 13-year-old Rebecca should have taken out of this album was she's confident in who she is and she doesn't give a fuck what you think.
Yeah,
And
that was
I
probably
think,
the message you missed.
yes, it was probably the message I missed. And I think that's, like, women need to hear that, especially women in rock and metal and whatnot. Like, you know, be who you, and I don't know, I'll talk about it again when we get to some other songs, but just like, I love that confidence. And then later on she gets that assurance that, like, okay, yeah, I'm still accepted for who I am. So, you know, I love that. Miss Hyde was my favorite song though when I was a teenager with this album.
It's it's not my favorite. That's okay. I don't
it's not my
hate it.
favorite now. I don't love it that much now, but it's a good single. It's a radio song.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
I like that the
Definitely.
first four singles are all back to back. Like they're really throwing all the punches here in the beginning of the album.
Yeah. I mean, this is their second album
Yeah.
and probably bigger than their first album. So
Oh,
just
so much
I think
bigger.
that's probably part of it, is just putting those singles right there in the beginning with people.
Yeah, it had five singles. I don't know how in my mind, two or three is like what I would expect, but this had five. So,
Okay.
okay, I Miss the Misery is next. Um, Here we go. All right. I feel like I've done a lot of talking. Hannah, you have any thoughts that you want to start us off with this song?
This is their most streamed song on Spotify. Like,
It
of all of their
is.
music, this song, which I'm gonna say I was a little surprised it was this song. Not because I like this song, not because I think it's a bad song, but because it doesn't feel like it's emblematic of them necessarily
It's very
in the way that
radio
I think of
friendly.
them. Yeah, and yeah, which maybe that's why it's their most streamed song.
Oh yeah.
And also because like their Bad Romance cover is really good, so I kind of
Their Bad
expected that
Romance
to be
cover is
higher.
good.
Their Bad Romance cover is my favorite version of Bad Romance.
Yes!
So,
Finally! Someone says it. It is the
and
best version.
I usually don't like covers,
Hmm.
but I really like their Bad Romance cover. It's good.
It's so good.
Anyway, it's just I'm dying. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm having a giggle fit now.
Focus up. Focus up, Anna. I guess
I'm
if
trying not to cough. Okay, I forgot what my thought was. I lost my train of thought. You might want to cut
it's not like
that
Bad
whole little bit out.
Romance. It's not like Bad Romance.
Oh, yeah, it's not really like it. It's not really like when I think of them, it's not emblematic necessarily of them. I also I like it a lot, but I also don't think it's their best.
Mm-mm.
But I think it's a really good song. I just
It's a
think they
good
have
song.
other songs that are better. But that being said, I really do enjoy this song. I like the line, "I don't miss you, I miss the misery." I think it just feels good to say it and to hear it. Like
Yep.
the sounds are good.
It's another one that's intimidating. Like if someone tells you they don't miss you like that, but they miss the misery, like that makes you feel small. At least it makes me feel small. It'd make me
Oh
feel
yeah,
small. And so to
oh yeah.
know that the person that I am does not cause someone to miss me. It's the misery that comes with being with together that they miss. You know. I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
well, they can find that with any other guy, but with me, not with me, So, but I will say this: I agree with you on everything you said about the song itself. It concerns me lyrically, though. I'm like, come on, Lizzie, don't put yourself in bad relationships just because
She
it's.
doesn't like being bored.
Yeah, and you know what? Good for you. Um, I guess when I hear this song, sometimes I worry, like, and I'm just taking it too seriously, I'm sure, but I just worry, like, okay, is this is borderline abuse, you know?
Right.
Um, so
I mean, I don't know if you need to worry so much about that with Lizzie Hale, to be
yeah, you're
honest.
right.
I think she holds her own.
Yeah, she'll be okay, but like, it does like just lyrically, it raises some flags of concern. But
Um,
if anyone's gonna hold her own, it'd be her. But
I think also this is another example in this album of that push and pull. So she's doing a lot of the pushing
yep,
up front here, or maybe it's the pulling away, not so much the aggressive pushing here in the beginning, where she's like,
she's not pushing, she's
I
moshing.
yeah, yeah, exactly. um, but yeah, like just the Um, she hated this relationship, but also she misses, like, this is starting to see the other side of that a little bit. Like, she hated
Mhm.
the relationship, but she kind of misses it. She kind of misses the pain of it. She wasn't bored. She misses, having something.
Mhm.
But she's, not going to let us see more of that vulnerability until later.
Mhm. Mhm. Therapy breakdowns with Bec Han.
We're really digging into these lyrics.
We are, but you know what? Isn't that what we do?
That's what we do here at Bec Han. You should subscribe.
I had another thought about this song. Um. Oh, but I
Write
can't
your thoughts
remember.
down.
Huh?
You gotta write your thoughts down.
Well, no, I had a thought while you were talking about it, about the push and pull
Oh,
thing. But oh, what attachment style is Lizzie Hale?
man, that's a great question.
I'm going with avoidant. I think she
But
pushes. I think she pulls more than she pushes,
I could see that.
and I don't think she's
But that
afraid of.
could just be the exterior.
You're right, but well, that's all we have. Um,
That's true.
but I don't think.
We just have the image she's projecting.
And maybe the misery. Maybe it's she misses the misery because she doesn't like to be alone.
Yeah,
But you're
that
right.
could that could
We're
be a big part of it.
we're probably just projecting our own thoughts and feelings and fears and whatnot. So I don't really have much to say about "I Miss the Misery." It's a good song, very
Yeah,
radio friendly. And I really don't have much to say about the next song, which
yeah.
is "Freak Like Me." So "Freak Like Me" is another single, and I think it's the single with the least amount of plays on Spotify. It's got 33 million compared to
Mm,
everyone else. I think Ms. Hyde is the next one
with
at
46.
46. Yeah. No, 42 for Here's to Us. So, this song, I like its message of like, be yourself and be confident in it, but it's just not my style. It's not a good song, in my opinion.
Um, it is in that line of, and we've talked about this before, how I feel about this kind of the line of gimmicky type of songs that
Yep.
this genre will do that are like almost like a meta into
Yep.
the rock
The
genre.
rock
So
meta.
rock meta, yeah. So this and like rock show and even Here's to Us kind of fit into that for me, and I don't. And maybe it's because I'm an outsider. I'm just a poser. I'm not moshing, so I just don't get it. Um, but that's kind of how when I listen to this, I'm kind of like,
Yes, I
I will say of the three I mentioned, I like this one the most.
I like this one the least out of those three. But
Mm.
this is how you listeners how you figure out if a song is in the rock meta or not. When you listen to it, do you think that the music video would just be concert footage? And if the answer is yes, it's a rock meta
Probably
song.
rock meta. It's if they're talking about what's happening in the song and they're talking about the kind of people who might play that kind of song, it's
Rock
probably
meta.
rock meta. Because I just think about like I guess country does that too, and I don't really like it
Yeah.
on the countryside either. I'm kind of like, nah. It just feels kind of cheesy to me, and like kind of on the nose. I think maybe I'm just looking for different kinds of lyrics. Because I'm like, if Taylor Swift did this, if Selena Gomez did this, or I don't know, some pop singer was like singing about I'm so weird because I like pop music and sparkly sounds, and oh, now I'm gonna play an ice cream chord,
Or
like
if Taylor
it'd
Swift was
be
like, if you have ex-boyfriends, then you're just like me. You know.
yeah. It'd be like, okay, that feels like really on the nose and it's a little weird. But that's just my opinion. That's just where I come at it from.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
Um,
don't usually like these type of songs. And it shows I don't like this one, and I think it shows that as far as Spotify listeners go, that people it's not their favorite song either.
I will
Um,
say I've discovered today that music sounds better in my car than it does on my computer. Like, officially, I have decided it sounds a lot better in my car.
I,
So I liked it better in my car today when I listened to it.
I usually listen if I'm gonna like try to dissect an album, I'll listen to it with my volume turned up kind of loud on my earphones so I can like get the
Mm.
full sound. But yeah, I don't know. I've got nothing to say about Freak Like Me. So let's
All right, we can.
move on to Beautiful with You.
Been the strong one for so long, but I was wrong. It doesn't make you weak if you needed someone. I'm not holding back, yeah, I know what I want.
So, Hannah, since you can't hear it, the clip was of the bridge, which I think is the
Oh,
best part of the song.
yes, the bridge is the best part of this. It's so good.
It is so
Such a good
good.
bridge.
But I will say, I don't know about you, I really like this song. It's cheesy, but I love it.
I think it's good. I think the vocal performance of it is really good. Um,
Yes.
this is where we start to see the other side, the
Mhm.
Dr. Jekyll,
Mhm.
if
she's
you will.
yeah, she's willing to be vulnerable with this person and they accept her, which I don't know, I don't know. When I was younger and I'd hear this song and I'd be like, "Okay, this song is fine." But now having somebody who accepts me, like, you know, it's funny
You
cuz
really see the power in
I
it.
really see the power in it cuz it's funny cuz like okay, today Juan and I there's a possibility that we are going to go swimming. And I was like, "Oh, I tried to shave, my legs or whatever, but like his shower is really small and I kind of had to like do some yoga to get my legs shaved." And I was like, "So I may have missed a few spots, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Babe, I don't care." And so like just something small like that where like you don't have to be 100%, you don't have to look 100% for someone to still love you.
Mhm.
I don't know, it's just a really nice feeling. And
Yeah,
I think for people who deal with, body image issues, it hits even harder, which is all of us. We all have insecurities. And so when someone says that's, no, there's no reason to be insecure about X, Y, or Z, like, it just feels good. And I think she captures that perfectly.
yeah. I really appreciate how she gets at that, like, um, exterior part of it, no
Mm-hmm.
beauty queen. And then also just like the interior part of it too. Like she's showing off both herself physically and emotionally and is
Mm-hmm.
accepted and it feels beautiful in both of those ways. And I think that's cool.
As
Sorry, go
someone,
ahead.
as someone who doesn't wear makeup and, like I like to say, dresses like a 12-year-old with my gym shorts and t-shirts, you know, I think it also just felt good to hear. Like it feels good to have someone accept you for who you are, in the sense of like you said, she said she's no beauty queen, or I stand here in torn up jeans, no t-shirt and torn up jeans, and I'm like, that's me, that's my style, and you know. I always just kind of like, I don't think people find me attractive because the stuff that I wear doesn't really show off my body, basically. But then to have someone be like, "No, I like your style. It's kind of it's nice."
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to be appreciated for even the parts of you that you're like, I don't know if this is a good part.
Right. Like my tiny, skinny arms.
Like, but you have muscles now.
Well, I know, but like a year ago I didn't.
But you do
I
now.
do now. I know. Man, sometimes I'm just like in work and I'm just like feeling my like, I don't know what your thigh muscles are called. I don't know if it's the hamstring. I don't know if it's hamstrings, obliques. I don't know. But those, and then like my arms, I'm just like, man, I'm so toned.
Like, these people out here get to see this every day and they don't even know.
They don't even know. uh,
um, okay, let's move on to the next song
which,
because I really want to talk about it.
okay. Which is In Your Room. So let's play it.
Let me in your room. I've seen the rest of you, but I know there's something more in your room.
right off the bat, to me, she's kind of got like a little twang in her voice in this one.
See that? I'd have to listen to it again to listen for that, but
Yeah,
I
nobody
could
wants
see
to
that.
listen to this song again.
I don't like this song.
It's not
I'm sorry.
It's not a good song.
It's not okay. This is what I think about it. I think that other songs on this album say the exact same thing, but better.
Yep.
This feels like a rough draft for other songs on this album.
Yep. Yep.
It kind of feels unfinished.
It does feel it does, and it's and it's just kind of like I want to know like why they decided this was the one.
It feels like, I mean, this album feels pretty long, and so it kind of is like, I would have left this off.
Yep. 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 Yeah. I like the message. She's in the context of the album, she's been emotionally vulnerable, and now she wants him to be emotionally vulnerable, and he's just like no, and she's using the very cheesy context of being in someone's room. I don't know. I don't know how you'd make it better, but it ain't it.
I feel like you can keep the guitar, the nice, like, more stripped down performance, and you can replace it with different lyrics. New song.
And it's not even like American Boys has less plays than this one, and I'm just like, how?
I think because you're like listening, you have all these like upbeat songs at the top of this album, and you're listening through, and then anyway,
Anyways, okay, In Your Room, forgettable. Don't listen to it. It's not great. I guess listen to it
not
if
a
you want.
favorite.
Now, here's one. The next one you should listen to, and it's called Break In.
Take everything I have till there is nothing left, until it's just your voice in my head. And when the lights come on, you see me as I am. You're still inside me.
Okay, what a good song. Best song off the album.
Best song on the album. We have talked about this so much, how much we love this song.
It's I love how it builds over time. So you have the beginning,
Yes.
and it starts with just her on the piano, and then it adds the guitar, and it adds harmonies and layered vocals, then it adds guitar and strings, and it all just
the build
chef's
is
kiss.
so good.
Chef's kiss
Into the bridge.
Yes.
And then that last chorus. Oh my gosh. And she sounds so good on it.
She sounds
And the lyrics
amazing.
are good.
Yes.
This is the best song on this album.
Yes, and ever since you talked about like it's on your slow dance playlist, I'm like
It is.
I'm like, man, do I want this played at my wedding,
It's a contender, like if, for me. It's up there. And like I don't really go slow dancing that much, but I do have the playlist for it just in case. And it fits right in on there. It's really good on it.
And
so put it on your playlist, y'all. Like this has 28 million streams. It's just me in bed.
over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It's one that I've been meaning to show Juan, and I just like don't get the chance because he usually listens to his music, and I'm just like, eh. But he'll hopefully hear this on the podcast, and Juan, you better listen to it and let me know. Is this a first dance contender?
I just really like, the imagery too of put your letter in the air and lead me back home. Just taking that, like, this is where I feel like the rock meta works.
Yes.
Because you're taking that and turning it into like a metaphor for, show me the light and help me find myself and help me find safety and help me find acceptance. And even like you could turn this into, it's about her band, or it's about her fans, or it's about her lover. I hate saying that word, but her lover.
So you're not gonna be singing Taylor Swift's "Lover" as your karaoke song?
I love that song, so I might be. But anyway,
we
also talked about. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go on, because this is a new thought. But what did we also talk about?
We also talked about switching. If you switch this song and in your room in the order of the album, it kind of tells a different
It
story, which I
does.
liked. I thought that was compelling.
Yes. So instead of like it being emotionally vulnerable, pulling away, then back to pursuing, it could be pursuing, being emotionally vulnerable, and then like sharing so much of yourself, and then just asking your partner to do the same. And it kind of tells it. If you do it that way, in my opinion, it tells a sadder story. So you know,
But I think it's compelling that way too. So it could have,
yes,
I don't know.
it tells a
It might have
story
liked
that
in
way.
your room better if it had been like that. But
Now,
also, like, it might have been more disappointing after break-ins. So I don't know.
yeah, that's true. But okay, I had this thought today. Um, and I'm gonna kind of take back what I said about switching the order. I think it's perfect where it is because if you take Break In and you apply it to how she feels about her fans, and like Break In and the Rock Show, or I guess just Rock Show, are both about being at a concert, but from a different perspective. So for her, Break In is all about, okay, I'm putting my soul into these songs. I'm sharing my vulnerability. Like she's being vulnerable with everybody who hears this song. They get a little piece of
True.
her.
That's true.
And so she has to be able to be confident within herself and perform this live. And that's terrifying, okay?
Yeah,
And
that's
then
a good point.
the fans love it and they sing along. I've heard that nothing is a better feeling than when someone sings along to something you've made, which I could see that. You know,
I've heard that.
it means so much to them that they sing along, they have their lighters out, whatever. And so that, like I like the line when the lights go down, you see me as I am or whatever, or when the lights come on, whatever it
Huh.
is. And like, yeah, when you make music and you make art and you get up on that stage, like they are they are inside of you. They are witnessing and seeing a piece of you that you don't share usually with millions of people. Okay?
Yeah,
You've
like,
got the rock show. I guess it's just rock show. I'm thinking of the Blink-182 song. But you've got rock show and it's from the fans' perspective. They are coming to a place where, you know, like they're amongst their peers and like in a sense it's family, people who get them and a band who gets them. And so hearing that music that resonates with them live and having it be performed for them, like it hit, it there's always something magical about going to a concert and going to a rock
that's so true.
show because
I love live music.
yeah,
You're part of it.
you're part of it. You are one with the artist in that moment. And so I think that's
Well, you're
why.
part of the community experience too.
Yes.
It's like not only are you getting to see that vulnerability of, because creating any art, the reason that it's scary to create art is because it's like showcasing an inside piece of yourself
Mhm.
to the outside for other people to visually see and to pick apart and
Mhm.
critique.
Mhm.
And part of what makes concerts great is that the majority of the people who are there because they love it. And so it's like a community experience of everybody being inside of the art and being a piece of the art and loving that art together.
Yep.
And there's something powerful about singing with a group of people too.
Yep.
That's why churches do it.
So I
Rock show is actually about church.
so
about
I
the Texas megachurch.
the worship band.
It's about liberty, actually.
So I think upon re-listening to it and kind of like seriously thinking about it, I think they put that there intentionally.
I think you're selling me more on rock show.
See, I knew it because I listened to it. Well, I didn't know, but I was listening to it again today, and I was just like dancing, and I'm like, this is a good song. Damn it,
We should talk
Hannah.
about rock show. You should play rock show.
I am playing it right now. Not right now, but right now.
Goes out to anyone whose heart beats like a kick drum. When a bitchin' riff comes, knows the words to every line, every time, and you know you gotta go and get some, get pumped, find yourself and lose it at the rock show.
So with that one, I played the bridge because I don't like the bridge. But I don't like the spoken part of the bridge. I don't like
Yep.
spoken word in songs. But I do love. I think it builds up so good back into that chorus, and it throws you back
Yeah.
into that chorus. It's like a roller coaster. The bridge is the lift hill, and then you just go.
Okay, I get that. You're really selling me on this song. I famously have said I don't love this song because of the rock meta. I just can't get into
That
it.
damn
But
rock meta.
I think, like, and I said this before, and I'll say it again. If I was there and I was at a concert and this song played, I would get so into it because it's probably so good live.
Which they don't play it
But
live
just
anymore.
listening, I wish they would, so I could listen to it. I could probably just watch a video. Like, it's so good. It's probably so good live, and it's not as good alone in my room with my laptop. It's because it's just cheesy at that point. I'm like, okay,
I also
you're telling
think
me about a rock show. Great.
I think hearing it with headphones kind of gives it that live feeling because it's all around you. You know, with this laptop, you've got the speaker, and like that's just kind of it. But hearing it with like a good pair of headphones and like having the volume cranked
No,
up, it's
no, being alone on this song, like I can't get into it.
I mean, that's fair. I will always love it because man, it's just it I like the, you know, like when they say something musically it happens, so power, here's a power chord and then they play a power chord or what's the other one? Hitting the high
It's like
note and something about the drums, I think. Oh, the kick
it's
drum
like
to the heartbeat or
in,
something.
in the beginning of what's that one song from The Little Mermaid where he's like telling which instruments to start playing.
Do you mean in Under the Sea when he's like the brass play or the bass play the brass and the duke is the flute of soul, yeah, or whatever?
I think I was thinking of Kiss the Girl.
Oh,
Beginning
oh,
stupid
winds,
reference. But
strings, words, or whatever.
lots of songs do that.
Yeah, and I really like
I
when a
don't
song does
know.
that because it's kind of cool. It's cool. It's I don't know. It's just fun. But I love Rock
It's
Show.
kind of like when there are songs that'll be like it's quiet and then the music in the background will get quiet or whatever. Like
Yeah,
the lyrics will
or like
reference. Yeah.
stop and stuff stops.
Yeah, I kinda like that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like you have power.
But I think that this is probably better live.
I'm gonna go watch a live thing on this afterwards just to kind of see what it's like.
Yeah, me too.
Cause you're right, it's probably good live, but I get that live feeling, and I think also for me as someone who kind of always had that dream of performing for people, like I can feel the energy from this song, and I'm just kind of like
Mhm.
I want to like be able to give that energy. I want to perform. So I think that's just a part of me that's like I want to be on stage. It really
Yeah,
hits that
that makes
nerve for
sense.
me. So I don't know, but I wish I
That
had
makes a lot of sense.
I wish I had more to say about Rock Show, but I encourage people to listen to it, especially that the bridge into the final choruses. It's like I said, it's a roller coaster. You're going up that hill, and then you keep going, and then you don't stop until the end.
And then you roll into Daughters of Darkness.
Yes. So okay. With this one, again, musically, it's fun. It captures my attention and keeps my attention. But lyrically, this song gives me like scene goth girl vibes.
I mean, this kind of plays a little bit into a different kind of rock or emo meta. I need to stop harping on that. I don't mind this song. I don't really have anything to say about it, to be honest. I think when I got to this point in the album on my full listen through, I was like, oh, how much
I
longer we got? What song are we on? 9? Okay.
yeah, this one's fairly forgettable. The clip I put in the podcast is "We will turn you on or we will turn on you," and I'm just like, okay, get over yourself. that
I
lyric
don't mind
just
that line, but yes.
that lyric just like rubs me the wrong way. I don't know. Like you think you're so special, but who knows? I don't know where that comes from. Maybe I wish I had that power. I don't know.
Isn't that like what's that? I don't know. I feel like it's a thing that they say in like movies where it's like they're either gonna want to be me or be with me or something
Yep.
or
Yeah.
kill me.
Yeah. So yeah, not a lot to say. And then we've got I think what you call me a bitch like it's a bad thing. That's next, right?
Yep.
All right, here we
Yep.
go. So you and I just discovered when we originally recorded this that the you have the nerve to call me up and say see you next Tuesday is her spelling out the C word.
Which like made me think of isn't there like a Kesha song where she spells out something? And I was like, yeah, if I ever heard this song, I would not have realized because that kind of stuff goes over my head.
It
I'm
goes
not
over
great
my
at
head.
listening to lyrics
Me
too,
either.
is part of it.
The
I
song
like have to read them to
the
know.
song could say I killed a guy and I'd be like, what's this about? Google, what's I killed a guy about? You know?
I have to really, yeah, I have to read those lyrics. I have to study lyrics because I have a hard time with lyrics. But
But this song, I wrote in my notes, Lizzie, why are you giving this man the time of day anyways? Like, you don't have to. Why would you want to be with this kind of person? And I wrote something specific. Where does this? Let's see. Oh, okay. The line that she says in the first verse, I'm not looking for love, no, not today. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, girl, this boy ain't looking for love either. He's just looking for, someone to fuck.
yeah,
And not even like,
I don't know.
not even like, a mutual situation. He's probably just looking to get himself off and go somewhere else. Like, I know
And then he
it's,
wants to call her a bitch after,
yeah,
and she's
because,
like, okay, do it.
do it, bitch.
It's like, call me a bitch. It's like which one were we talking about? Mrs. Hyde, I guess,
Uh-huh.
where she's like, I'm gonna lean into it.
Yep. There she is leaning into it. Oh, and then in the bridge, or no, the chorus where she's like, "You call me a bitch like it's a bad thing." I'm like, okay, this is kind of silly. I don't know. That just cringe
Yeah,
alert. I didn't like
that
that.
part I'm kind of like, oh, I don't love it, but that's okay.
It's not for me. It's not my type of song.
She's very strong vocally.
Yes. Also, as a 13-year-old,
Very, very strong.
I was like, I can be a bitch. It's cool. It's fine. So.
Yeah, you're calling me this like it's a bad thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna be the bitchiest bitch.
I'm 13. And you probably weighed like 80 pounds.
Yeah, 75. Let's be honest.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you were probably so tiny when
I'm
you were
like 4'2", 75 pounds. Fuck you, mom.
in your yellow shoes.
But my
I
all
don't know what you
black.
dress like as a 13-year-old.
No, I bought those. Those like silly pun shirts, like serial killer. And it had
Oh,
a spoon
yeah.
on it. I had those.
Oh yeah. I had one that was all different kinds of palindromes. I loved that shirt.
So that was 13-year-old Beck playing The Sims and being mad at my mom and being like, "Call me a bitch, do it."
Your mom's like, I'm not gonna.
Let's talk about your music taste. We're concerned about you.
And now you're like, I understand.
I get it now. I'm sorry. Okay. Next is a bop though, and it pisses me off
Oh,
that
yeah.
has so many low listeners. All 6 million of those plays are from me. And it's American Boys. Man, what a bop. And it's like it's got a good beat. It starts off strong. It could open the album if it wanted to.
I think it could open the album, but I think it could have been further up.
Oh yeah, uh-huh. It's a good one, and
And
I love it. I love that
live.
Lizzie's like, I love boys.
Oh, yeah. Like, you know what? Good for her.
Good for her. She doesn't discriminate. She'll go west, east, south, north,
Anywhere in America.
anywhere in America. Sorry, European boys.
European boys, get out. We're going to, New York City. We're going to university.
We're
We're
going to like
going to
Georgia or something, you know.
uh where else are they going? I don't know. She says that they're her favorite toys, which is kind of silly, but
And that she wants
um
to lay 'em, slay 'em, and play 'em.
I'm like, all right, Lizzie, you go for it.
You go for it. You know what? You go,
She
girl.
loves this American boys. I'm like, it's. I think what I like about it is like, yeah, it is kind of the same like things that we've been about where maybe it was a message that you could have misconstrued as a 13-year-old, but it's like it feels so positive. Like, oh my gosh, these boys in America, they're great, and I'm like, yeah, they are great.
And you know
Some
what?
of them.
Some of them. And you know what? She's like, she's so confident in herself. And I'm kind of like, I'm a little jealous. But she's like, I'm going to do what I want with them and not feel bad. You know? It's that confidence and what it can be at times intimidation. And I admire that. I'm like, girl, I wish I had your confidence.
Oh yeah, I think if all of us had a little dose of, confidence, it would be good for us. Just a little dose.
Just a little. Yeah,
We can't all be her.
we don't all want to be her.
If we were all Lizzie Hale, then the world would be a weird place to live in. But if we all got a little bit more confidence, it'd be
America would probably be Barbie land.
good. Barbie Land and the American boys would be Kens.
Yep. Good song, good song. Everyone go listen to it. Get its plays, get the plays above in your room. In your room should not have
Yeah,
over 400,000 more plays.
yeah. Get in your room lower, American boys.
All right. This is the last one on the original standard
Here's
length
to us.
album. Here's to us, and then we have bonus tracks, which I don't think we'll have much to say, but I've got clips of them anyway. So here's to us.
Here's to us, here's to love, all the times that we messed up. Here's to you, fill the glass, 'cause the last few nights have kicked my ass. And thank you for your help. Tell 'em go fuck themselves. Here's to us.
So, what are your thoughts?
Love this song just as a listener, but I think that I have come around to it as I've thought about this album as a whole, and I've thought about just the performance of it. I think this is another one I need to see a live performance on. But when we talked about this before, we kind of talked about, oh, I wonder if she still plays this song live, because it's probably like a great tour closer. She doesn't, but
Boo, Lizzie.
we were
boo.
talking about we were talking about it'd be so cool if she did like this, like it would be really cool to hear like rock show, and then rock show fades out and the band goes back and she does kind of an acoustic-y Here's to Us to end the show, and then I don't know, maybe does an encore or something. But like I think that kind of has made me buy into it a little bit more. I don't love the song, but it's not my lowest either.
Yeah. It's interesting. Okay, because they have a version called the guest version, and I didn't listen to it because I originally thought that it was just the clean version, so people could play it at like weddings and stuff. But apparently I'm wrong. It's still
Yeah,
explicit.
I don't really know. I don't really know what the
I don't get
difference
it. So listeners, maybe if you listen to this album and you listen to the guest version, you can let us know. But
is.
I do like this song, and it's cheesy, but I love that it's about being a community and getting through something. It's a song that like you said, it should close their shows, but it doesn't, so they're missing out. Which I guess kind of from the limited times I have heard the steeple, which is what they use now to close out their show. We looked this up last Thursday when we recorded. Um, the steeple I guess makes sense. I haven't heard it very much, but it sounds like it's about being together as a community.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that works, but I just think Here's to Us is better.
Yeah.
I guess if you liked this, I don't know how to ask this because I know your answer is probably no. But would you play this at a special event, like a wedding reception or something?
See this being played at. Would I personally play it? Probably I would forget that it exists when I'm making my playlist for an event. But like it feels kind of like a song that you would play at the end of certain kinds of movies.
Yep.
Or
End
like
credit song. It's a good album ender too because it sounds like an ending.
yeah, it sounds like it's pulling it to a close. I think I don't know what event. I probably wouldn't play it at a wedding, but
I'll tell you what. If it was cleaner, it would have been a good launch song.
Yeah. That was my first thought was maybe at a graduation, but I was like, I don't know what graduation I'm making the playlist for.
Well, and you can't have a song that says ass.
That's true. And fuck.
Well, the clean version I know blocks out fuck. It tells them to go forget themselves.
What
And-
about all the times that we effed up?
They just say messed up. And instead of saying shoot the shit, they say shoot the stuff maybe. I don't know. That one
Maybe
doesn't.
spit.
No, it was like stuff or something. Because I remember listening to it and I'm like, that doesn't make too much sense. And then I heard shoot the shit and I was like, oh, shoot the breeze,
Like,
shoot the
weird.
breeze. That's what it was.
Oh, well, shoot the breeze. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, you know, man, I should have played it at launch. I guess it's just they don't take out ass. So you know, can't be saying ass
Well,
at,
that's in the
at the
Bible.
seminary. You're right. You're right. I
It's
feel like Mike
in the
would have.
Bible.
Feel like Mike would have had a problem with it. So, anyways, I don't. You know what? I'm really contemplating now. No, I would play this at my wedding reception at the end if I already didn't have a song to close it out with.
Beck, tell the people what your closing song is.
YMCA, and everybody has to get on the dance floor. You can't leave. You know what? You can do it from the comfort of your own table. But I'm gonna have somebody like standing on like a ladder or something, and if you don't do the YMCA, you don't get to go home.
What happens if you don't do it? You just have to sleep at the venue?
Yep, you have to clean up the venue.
You're on cleaning crew. Do the YMCA or else.
But no, I like it. It's a good song. I've always liked Here's to Us. I think it's a good little celebration song, and it's a good album ender.
Yeah.
But
Do you have thoughts about these extra songs?
I have thoughts about Private Parts and Hate It When You See Me Cry. hate it. I hate it. All right, Hannah, we're not 12. This is why they titled it this way, to get Hannah to laugh.
Speak for yourself.
And Hate It When You See Me Cry. So I'll you know what I'll do? I'll play both because I don't think we have really a lot to say about either of them. So I'll play both and then we can talk about them. So here we go.
Baby, forgive me. Did I do something wrong? I don't wanna talk. Can't we just let it go? I hate it when you see me cry. Your t-shirt soaked through from my eyes. When I'm not as tough as I should be, you see the softest part in me. Hate it when you see me cry.
Alright, so that's Private Parts and Hate It When You See Me Cry. I personally think, just being right off the bat, that they could have been on the album. If In Your Room makes it, these two can make it.
That's a good point. I feel like this. Yeah, they were better than In Your Room,
And you know,
in my
if I
opinion.
had to pick one of them, I'd like to have Hate It When You See Me Cry on that. But that's because I am with her. I hate it when people see me cry. I will do everything. I'll take 7 showers a day if that means no one sees me cry because I'll cry in the shower.
Because I like to be clean.
Yeah, I'm a neat freak or a clean freak. Um but like as far as the songs themselves go, I mean it's obvious they're B-sides. They're not super strong, but they're
Mhm.
good. You know, I found myself when I bought this album. I grew out of the album, but in like high school I still listened to these two. So clearly
Mm.
they stuck with me.
Yeah. I think Private Parts was the one that made me really go, oh my gosh, this is about EFT. Because it's literally a back and forth dialogue.
Yep, yep. They could be sitting when we co-counseled together. They could have just been sitting on a couch across from us.
Yes.
It'd be
And
a
we could have
musical.
been sitting in those white and blue chairs with the dim lighting.
And like they just come in and we're like, how's it going? And then they're like, baby, forgive me. And we're like, what is happening?
It's the counseling the counseling center, the musical episode.
Yeah, it's the RTS musical episode.
That would be so good. That was kind of my main thought about that song. I don't
Yeah.
know if you have more thoughts about it.
No,
I
not
have a
really.
really unhinged thought about about Don't Know How to Stop.
The only thought I had about that song was, oh, the bass is interesting. What's your
Okay,
unhinged thought?
there's a part, I think at the end of the choruses or something, just musically, it reminds me of Like Whoa by Ali and AJ. Just a really unhinged thought that I'd have to listen to them back to back actually to make sure that that's really how I feel, but that I have that written in my notes and it felt important to say it.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. When I didn't pay this song any attention because I just thought it was really bad. That one you could tell, not good, at least in my opinion. So I don't know. I don't remember it. It was very forgettable for me. All I kept thinking was, all right, Lizzie, let's learn some self control. Let's go to counseling. Come on,
Yeah, come in and start singing
singing private
private
parts with your
parts.
partner.
Oh my gosh.
We get naked, but I can't undress your heart. Show me your private parts.
It's a double entendre, Beck. Okay, wait. I clicked on James Roach. James Roach. Why did I say that? James Michael? Because I read Papa Roach and James Michael at the same time. I clicked on James Michael on Genius, and he
Uh-huh.
wrote Take a Hint, which Victorious, the TV show, famously covered.
Oh.
So that's weird.
You know, Papa Roach ought to be somebody. We'll go through a phase where we just listen to all the stuff I listened to in middle school, and Papa Roach is definitely one of those bands.
No.
Although they do have a really good album that's not very cringy, but they've got some really cringy stuff, so that'll be kind of be fun. But these two B-sides are good. I don't really have much to say. I just really like them as songs.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, okay, they were there.
At this point in the album, I'm like, I want to go do something else. Please be over.
Yeah, be done now.
Go away.
We listen to different music now. So yeah, I think that kind of closes it out for us on
Yep.
this album.
Yep. I give it a B+. It's growing on me more. The more I listen to it, the more I'm like, I'm going to put these songs back in my Spotify. I think it's time.
Wait, before we grade it, although
Oh.
I love to hear that, before we grade it, we have to talk about a song you would cut
We know what
from the
that
album
is.
and your favorite song. Okay.
In Your Room, I would cut, destroy it, burn it. It never existed. And Break In, I think, is my favorite. Break In, Beautiful With You, Rock Show, American Boys, Love Bites. That's my top 5.
Did you have a favorite musical moment in this album?
Yes, the bridge transitioned back to the chorus in Rock Show. Like I said, it felt like a roller coaster, so that was kind of cool. And it just
I like the musical build in Break In. That's just my answer.
ooh, yes. And I was just gonna say, it's just like you can you're getting pumped, it's starting to everything's starting to come back, all the instruments starting to come back in and get back into the rhythm, and then it you're just back in the chorus, and it's instead of the synth and Lizzie and the drums, it's everything all at once, and you're just like, yeah, this is what I came here for.
Still selling me on, like trying to sell me on Rock Show. Okay.
I will continue
you
to
have
do
a
it till
favorite
I
lyric?
die.
I want to see you try. Do you have a favorite lyric?
I think it was the one in Breakin' when it's like, when the lights come on, you see me as I am. You're still inside me. I'm like, ugh, yes, Halestorm.
Good.
Good lyric.
Good. I don't know what my favorite.
Oh, actually,
lyric
you know what I
is.
really love?
Huh.
At the end, at the last chorus of Break-In, when she's saying, when she says, "Damn, you leave me defenseless," and
Yes.
she's like, "Damn!" I don't know, I can't put as much
Yeah.
emphasis on it as she does, but I'm just like,
But
she's
that's
like,
about it.
yeah, she's like, wow, you have this power over me, and I'm like, I feel it in my core, in my bones.
I think, yeah, even just reading back the rest of these lyrics, it's perfectly reckless is
Mhm.
such a good way to put that feeling of, oh, it's so scary to be intimate with another person emotionally, but doing it is such a wonderful feeling at the same time. It's both perfect and scary.
Yep.
It's reckless to do it. It's dangerous, but I don't know. I think probably this song has my. I don't know. I can't choose. Maybe I also I didn't want to escape from the bricks that I laid down. It was me. I did it.
Mhm.
I trapped myself.
Now I want to look at the lyrics really quick. I need to see.
You let me fall apart without letting go. Then
Oh,
you pick up the pieces and make me whole.
love that so much. Man, this is a good song.
If you listen to one song from this album,
It's gotta be this one. Juan, I know you're listening to this. You better listen to it. And honestly, let's listen to it together. Let's create
listen
it.
to it right now.
Listen to it right
let's
now.
How about you and me for 4 minutes and 45 seconds of the podcast? No, I'm kidding.
But I also
Okay.
you're the only one that sees me, trusts me, and believes me. You're the only one that knows me, and in the dark you show me. Yeah, it's this chorus is just so good. Yeah, it's perfectly reckless. Damn, you leave me defenseless. So break in.
I mean, and the in the dark you show me goes with put your lighter in the air and lead me back home. Show me the light.
Yep, yep.
Make me feel safe.
Oh man.
So good.
Or even
This
just
song needs more listens.
even in just a more intimate setting, you know.
Yeah.
That's also what I get from that, is just
It's
you
both.
you can be close and show someone how much you care in that sense. And in order to have that connection with somebody, you have to create safety, which you do
Yes.
everywhere else. So
I think that a lot of these songs on this album are double entendres in that way, where she's talking about physical and emotional intimacy, and I think that she does it best in Break It.
I know, now I'm gonna go watch a video of her doing this live, because I'm got a lot of live songs to look at on
It's
YouTube.
very good live. Yeah.
Is it?
Okay. We're definitely I feel like the first time we talked about this album, we're a little more negative, and now thinking about it again, we're like, oh man, the story.
I
Just love
know,
it.
man. Now I kind of wish we had the full audio of our first one, and then just kind of just make it one
Yeah.
4-hour podcast episode, just so you could see the shift of just just a couple of days of you know
Sitting with it
re-listening
again.
and sitting with it and thinking about it does. Which I think it's what I'm gonna do now, because I only really give these albums a listen, and then I'm like, okay, but I think I'm gonna try to listen to it multiple times just to see what changes and take notes throughout. So
Yeah, I like having the notes of my first impressions and then kind of the sitting with it.
you hear that,
Um,
listeners? I'm gonna try harder.
Okay, but we are getting
Yes, this one's
pretty long on
this
this,
is
so
yeah. This is
let's wrap it
long.
up.
Okay. B plus. That's my
B
grade.
plus for me too, but that's a stronger B plus than
Yes, it is like an
before.
88, 89 instead of an 86, 87.
Yeah, strong B plus.
Or I guess
Good album.
I guess in
think
RTS language a 93 or 92.
it could have had a stronger, higher grade if not for In Your Room.
Yeah. What a miss.
Yeah. So that closes out Barbstorm.
Yep. It's a little longer
The
than
message
normal.
is be who you want to be.
That's right. Women
Barbie
rule.
girl. We love women on this podcast. Big woman supporter myself.
Yeah, I love women.
I think. Oh, so next week I've picked an album for us. So next week is me again.
Yep.
And it's gonna be another girl band.
All right. We don't stop.
I'm really excited for you to listen to them because this album was really special to me in high school.
Oh.
Also, Bec,
Yes.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I've noticed we have new art on our podcast.
That's right. I do notice because you know why? I put these together.
So, my friend who on the internet goes by Artemis created this art for us, and I just want to give my friend some credit. So there will be a link to her. I think it's called Coffee, but I always want to say Kofi. It might be Kofi, but it's kind of like an online store. That I'm gonna send back, so she could put that as for credit in the description. And they're really cool. And anyway, we really appreciate the art. So I'll probably just note that at the end of our episodes going forward. Thank you for the art.
Yes. Commission her. Go get some art done.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
So be ready next week for another girl band.
And hopefully, we will cross our fingers, knock on wood, be back on our regular schedule.
My fingers, knocking on wood.
Yep. All right,
you can't
Hannah.
Hear it.
Yeah, well, I believe you.
I literally did it.
Well, I will see you next time.
I'll see you next time.
More girl power on the way.
Girl power.